Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, today's first story comes from Visible Broccoli 381 from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit and says, Am I the arsehole for breaking up with my fiancée for telling her best friend she was not engaged? My now ex-fiancée, 30 female, and me, male 27, got engaged 3 weeks ago. We've been dating for 5 years and I finally got the money to give her the wedding she wanted. Well, 3 days ago we were discussing our guest list and I asked if she wanted to invite her best friend. Let's call him James, male 30. James lives in another state, but since they were friends for 10 years, I thought I could even pay for his travel expenses since it would be great to have her best friend at the wedding. She denied, saying that it would take a lot of work to bring him, and she wanted to be a family event. Countless times she mentioned that James was like a family to her, so I insisted. She got annoyed and said, I didn't even tell him we're engaged. That took me by surprise. I tried to ask why, but she started stonewalling me, and I left her alone. After a couple of hours, I tried to ask her again why she hasn't told him we were engaged, and she still refused to tell me. And I admit, my insecurity got the better of me. In the past, James had confessed he had feelings for her, which she turned down and basically friend-zoned him. But by the way she told me, it always sounded like she had him as a backup. Something not only me, but her exes realized. She married him online. They always made WoW characters, World of Warcraft, an MMO, massively multiplayer online game, to look like a couple. Like wearing the same transmog and shit like that. When she had a fight with her exes, he was always there for her, etc. I told her that made me uncomfortable, and if she was not planning to tell him, she might as well consider herself single, because I would not marry someone who couldn't be honest. Yes, I was pretty immature, but she did something even more immature. She texted him while showing me her phone, something like, hey, just so you know, I was engaged but not anymore, and sent it to him. I told her to pack her things and leave my house. Ever since then, she's been calling me, but I refused to answer. My mum called me because she apparently called my mum and said that I was an arsehole for ending things for such a ridiculous thing. So, am I the arsehole? Edit. Hey guys, I had some dinner and I think I'm going to go with a user who's called done over 69 position, and then continue saying, I'm going to ask her to meet up and ask to see their messages. And to another user, I'm already low contact with my mum, but I'm going to make my decisions after I clear everything up. So I'm kind of promising an update. Now, as always, it may be just like the Reddit brain where I've read one too many stories talking, but like in the second paragraph where she was denied it straight away, like bringing him and saying it would take a lot of work to bring him and she only wanted it to be a family event, you know, that might actually be true, but immediately I was thinking, oh dear, this is going down that path, is it? But Miserable Mo says not the arsehole. There is a reason she won't tell her best friend that she plans on getting married. I mean, most women think getting married is one of the biggest things in life and tells everyone she knows, unless it will put a damper of something. You know, boyfriends hate hearing their girlfriend is getting married. Wise Focus says, the night I proposed, I'm pretty sure that my wife was on the phone before I even heard a yes with as many people as she could think to call. Range Bob says, right, mine was still naked when she started calling people. Okay, Ad says, lol, my husband and I had been to a friend's wedding earlier that day. Lying in bed watching TV later, he said, we should get married. He mentioned it before, but reneged, so I was like, yeah, right, okay, sure. He said, I'm going to call my mum. I realized he was 100% serious this time. He's not a mama's boy, but that's how I knew he meant it, lol. I waited until he called her and he put her on speakerphone, and then I called people. 14 years together and 10 married, 1 child. So, I get it. Danova says, so your ex-fiancée didn't want to tell her boyfriend about you. Unless you poly, sounds like a great reason to end an engagement. If you want to confirm that she was cheating, offer to meet up with her for lunch. When you get there, tell her if she wants any chance with you, she needs to unlock her phone and you read all of her messages between him and her on all media. I'm sure you'll find more than enough to confirm that leaving is the best choice. Siren says, even in a poly relationship, that's messed up, lying and cheating. Polyamory requires honesty and transparency on each of the relationships. Nova replies saying poly allows you to make rules based off of how you and your partner agree. I've known a couple of people who've had successful, don't ask, don't tell polyamorous relationships. That is their choice and how they choose to be. That is the only time I could figure out how this could possibly be okay. That is why I put that exception. But some people who are poly don't accept, don't ask, don't tell as a viable relationship. And to that I say allow people to make their own choices on how they choose to be in a relationship the same way you would like people to allow you to choose. Personally, with my 16 years experience with polyamory, I prefer kitchen table poly, but I also accept that people have different things that work for them. And one more comment from Foxy Sly, old Stoty Fox says, you've done well to get rid of one woman who claims to love you but fundamentally doesn't respect you and believe you should eat shit in your relationships. Sadly, you still got another woman who fits that description, your mother, and it'd be trickier to get rid of her. So OP did come in with her update and said, hey guys, I just got home after talking to my still ex-fiancé. And since a lot of people asked for an update, here it is, but I want to clarify a few things. As commented on my original post, I paid for the house since I bought it before dating her, and I asked her to move in, since it was close to her job. I work from home since I'm in tech, but she had to go to work. That's why I paid for her car, to help her commute, and honestly, her salary is shit. I was her partner, so I didn't see any problem with that. I thought she was the one despite everything. She's smart, funny, we had chemistry, but I felt betrayed. To the update. We met at a coffee shop on the premise we would discuss how to save our relationship. At least that's what she thought. As soon as we sat down, I asked to see their messages. She got defensive immediately and told me she had deleted everything. I asked to see her phone anyway. She started to cry. Ugly cry, asking me to stop. At that point, I had already decided I was not going to be a part of the relationship anymore. But damn, I was curious. It took a good 20 minutes for her to hand me her phone. A lot of crying, even a waitress asking her if she was okay. So I read the messages. There wasn't any cheating like nudes being exchanged, them professing their love for each other, but what I read still stung. There was a lot of shit talking about me. A lot. Texts and texts of them saying how terrible of a person I was, criticizing my hobbies. I like video games and pro wrestling, saying I wasn't a real man because of them and stuff like that. But there were two topics that caught my eye. One where she had told him I was having trouble getting hard and that was frustrating for her. And one where she was complaining about how she didn't want to be stuck in our relationship. Yes, I was having problems in bed, because I was sad because my father had passed away 6 months ago. And the stuck thing, I remember telling her that when we got married, if she wanted, she could leave her job, and I would provide for both of us. I don't know if she took this the wrong way, but I guess it was related to that. I honestly don't know. By the time I gave her the phone back, she was already giving excuses on why she was saying those things to him, how he was like a therapist for her. And then she asked me, don't you complain about me to your friends? And I simply replied, no, I don't. She started crying again. I took a pretty deep breath and just said, just give me the ring back. I didn't keep the ring with me like some suggested. She hesitated a bit but gave it to me anyway. I stood up and asked her to delete my number and not to bother me anymore. I called her mum and asked her to pick up her daughter's stuff at my place. Her mum is a good person. I'm just realizing I'm going to miss her as I write this. She didn't understand why I decided to end it, but she didn't ask much, and to be honest, I'm glad she didn't. As for my mum, I didn't call her. I just blocked her for things unrelated to this post. I just realized she never had my back in anything. I was always trying to save an already failed mum-son relationship. Before I leave, I just want to clarify I was never against her having male friends or any type of friends. People are going to cheat, friends or no friends. I remember my dad saying something to me when I was a teenager. He always said, opportunity makes the thief. But I do not agree with that. Anyway, since I have the next 2 weeks off work, I'm going to figure out what to do with the wedding money. Drink some booze, play games.